I think it's going to be really, really hard to play against Sen.
Something that I thought was really, really instrumental in Sen's play there was every time the two guys fought, it was on Thorzain's side of the map. Sen was never defending on his creep. He was never under any real pressure. At the very, very end of the game, Thorzain started dropping and picking off hatcheries here and there, but at that point, Sen just didn't care. He was maxed out. His tech was completely... He had like 72 Broodlords and an Ultralisk. I mean, you can't really do anything against that kind of an army.
No, unless you have a lot of Ghosts.
I mean, the Ghosts were proving to be pretty effective, but it was just too much. It was too little too late.
Perhaps it is. This is, of course, guys, the third place decided for everybody who just tuned in. There is, of course, quite a big prize difference as well. The third place winner will walk away with $12,000 of prize money, and the fourth place finisher of this tournament, the NASL Grand Finals Season 2, will walk away with $8,000.
That's right, man. One best of
Did
7.
I say euros?
Euros?
I meant dollars, of course.
Definitely US dollars. One best of 7 for $4 grand. A lot of money on the line. So let's go ahead and introduce our players. The Red Terran down 0-2. Spawning in the 9 o'clock position, it is Mouse Sports Thorzain. And of course, Thorzain's opponent, currently up 2-0, playing at a very, very dominant style of ZVT. The Blue Zerg player, Gamma Bear Sen.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how Thorzain is going to play this game. We saw him play like kind of cheesy in game 1. Game 2 he tried a little bit more of a macro game. Even got a very, very quick third command center, but his first push just didn't really manage. Didn't really do the damage that he really wanted it to do. And well, let's see if we're going to see a little bit more of the Thorzain we saw against Moro. Just try to open with Hellions, try to kill some drones, try to keep the economy of Zerg like basically intact, and then just like transition into a more normal game. Perhaps try to split the map later on. Because of course Shadow Temple is a very good map for Terran.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing that you mentioned in the Hellions. We saw Thorzain use double reactored factory Hellion twice in his series against Moro, winning both times. That's not something he's busted out here yet. I really wonder if he's going to try that, or if he's just afraid to use that style against a player who's so prone to use roaches.
Yeah, of course that does make sense. I mean, if Sen is going to have a perfect bow, if he's going to have a couple of roaches in position, then Thorzain would commit way too much trying to do something right with Hellions. Of course, Hellions are always useful, but if you would go for a double reactor Hellion, yeah, you're just really investing quite a bit in that.
Yeah, opens with 10 roaches, and it's like, oh well, gee, I guess I'm just dead now. So Sen gets a nice scout of Thorzain's base. I believe he saw that gas. Yes, he did. Saw the timing on the barracks, and just going hatch first in the meantime.
Yes, indeed. So same old from Sen. Thorzain is actually walking out with his first Marine. He's so far on 1 refineries, it's hard to tell what he really wants to do. He's going to try to spot an Overlord. He actually got a little bit unfortunate right now with the Marine. If the Marine would have run to the left side straight away, he actually would have been able to just guard his Overlord.
Barely missing the Overlord. Sen will be able to hide him back behind that natural. Really nice little cliff edge to park that Overlord up on top of. Will give him a good feel for when Thorzain expands, and he can always poke in there and just see if there's any tech hidden in the back of the natural. Just checking out the mining of the gas in Sen's main base. Just now starting to collect that Vespine gas. I wonder, is he going to get that Ling speed initially, or is he going to go for the Roach Warren?
We'll see, Ben, we'll see. I'm trying to fix out some sound issues, because I don't know if you have the same, but I hear them like clicking on the keyboard all the time, and it's like really distracting me. Because I actually don't hear game sounds, all I hear is Sen's APM, and he's really fast.
Really fast and really loud. Yeah, of course. We are plugged into mics in the players' booth, so we can hear them blazing away on the keyboards. Both of them spamming out about 100 APM here in the early stages of the game, but after Blizzard patched it, I promise you they're actually moving much, much faster.
Yeah, it's really hard to say how fast they really are, but if you look at their hands, Ben, they're always a lot faster than mine. Makes me really sad. I keep trying, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, I've tried to make myself play faster, but I seem to hit a ceiling, and it just doesn't go any quicker for me. So we do see the exact same opening from Thorzain as he used in the last game: Reactored Hellion, Tech Lab on the barracks, and then Expand. This time Thorzain going to throw that expansion down on the low ground. This will just allow him to start mining from that natural a little bit sooner. First Hellions are going to show up just as the Spine Crawler finishes. Going to make it very, very difficult for him to actually do any damage.
Oh, Sen uprooting that Spine Crawler right now, but no worries. There are only 2 Hellions right now outside of his natural. Thorzain is, well, I want to say supply cap, but he's waiting for his command center. Still, that took quite a while, 10 to 15 seconds. So small error in his build, but I guess not the end of the world.
Certainly not. Now, Sen has been getting early macro hatches almost every single... Whoa, this time Spine Crawler goes up. Thorzain
might have
potentially could have slipped in there, but instead he's... You know, I feel like Thorzain's either being indecisive or playing a little bit scared. We saw on Antigua Shipyard, he pushed out with Marines and Siege Tanks and Hellions. Scouted a third base and then didn't apply any pressure to that third base.
No, and Sen barely had any units on the map. That just made no sense at all.
And then here he had an opportunity to run up into the main with some Hellions. Now, nobody wants to just donate their Hellions. If you lose your Hellions, you lose all of your map control. But when you're given an opportunity to do damage, it's usually in your best interest to seize that opportunity.
Yep, of course the games against Moro were very different in general, because once again, Moro plays quite different than Sen is. So Thorzain had a whole different idea. But yeah, I do agree with you. Once you see an opportunity, perhaps just try to go for it with those 4 Hellions. Of course, he cannot know what is on the high ground. We see it's only a Queen with 2 Zerglings. It's something he could have easily killed and then run up to the main. But once in a while, you just want to take a risk. And certainly, if you realize how greedy Sen has been playing throughout the previous 2 games, basically. Well, first game, he just kind of defended cheese. But second game, he just barely made any units. It was just drones. And then you just want to really try to do something with your Hellions at least. Because as long as they're staying here, Sen is actually quite fine with that.
Yeah, I completely agree. Sen's content to just work on these back rocks, eventually take a third base. He's got that macro hatch down that we were talking about. Baneling Nest also building. We see Thorzain pushing out across the center of the map with the same sort of marine tank force that he pushed across the map with on Antigua Shipyard.
He's bringing a couple of SCVs as well, and that's very interesting. I would love to see him build a bunker or 2. I think that could be very useful. Sen is going to spot this push right now, and Sen once again barely has any units. Pretty much drone only, and finally things start looking quite good for Thorzain.
Finally Thorzain deciding to commit to a push here, and Sen once again was being very greedy with his drones. Doesn't have many units out at all. Only 11 Zerglings on the map for Sen. And Thorzain, he's got these tanks sieged up in a great position. This macro hatch is just going to die. Right now, Sen is producing 20 Zerglings. The bunker, not quite complete yet, but I have a feeling that it is going to finish.
Yep, 11 Banelings on the way right now for Sen. Sen is going to need some excellent detonations. I love how Thorzain tried to build that bunker as soon as possible. Pretty much surrounded by creep right now, but it's going to be very, very important against the Banelings.
Yeah, a lot of Banelings being morphed in right now.
So many Banelings.
11. There is no stem upgrade on these Marines, so if Thorzain had to split them or run them back, it would be much, much harder. The tanks just leapfrogging forward. Spinecrawler going to go down. Now the Baneling Nest is actually in range of this siege tank.
Yep, Sen, of course, having quite a problem losing that macro hatch. He does not have a new one yet. He's building one in the main right now. Sen wants to go for it.
Oh, and Thorzain does not retreat into the bunker. He's just going to keep backing up. The Baneling's actually blowing up on the bunker. Nice Marine split in spite of having no stem. And Thorzain maintaining this push, still has units alive, still with the siege tank. What excellent control by Thorzain.
Yeah, really nice Marine splitting. Also quite cute Baneling splitting by Sen. He really tried to make the best out of the situation, despite how well Thorzain was playing this tank on the what is this? Basically at the gold base, doing a really good job as well. 16 kills already, and that's just such a nice backup tank, making it really, really hard for Sen to really clear out forces.
Yeah, really nice timing push here from Thorzain. He's just now starting his stem upgrade. He's still producing SCVs. He's up to 52 workers against 55, so Thorzain not all in at all. He's got all sorts of transitions coming together here, and he is looking very, very strong in game number 3.
Yep, even if Thorzain Sen somehow is able to defend this and he wants to go for it once again, Zerglings engaging these Marines.
Oh, Marines are just going to run straight backwards. Baneling's actually blowing up on the bunker and not killing anything. A couple of Queens are probably going to go down here. Only a siege tank dying to that next attempt at I guess, a bust out.
Sen actually running by a couple of links. Let's take a look at the wall over here. Nice wall by Thorzain. Well, I've seen prettier walls, but
it's not the most symmetrical wall I've ever seen, but it's not going to be easily broken, especially with a couple of SCVs there to repair, even a bunker in tow. Thorzain's push still alive on the edge of Sen's creep, and he is just killing Queens. And
Baneling speed is almost done. 8 seconds remaining. Thorzain actually not focusing the Baneling as right now. Sen trying to buy a little bit more time. He will be able to, well, I want to say break out that siege tank, but he won't.
Yeah, Baneling speed did finish up there, but most of this Baneling's blowing up on the siege tank. Last tank of the push is still hanging around. The SCV's doing some nice repair work. Marine's going to push forward, kill a few more of those Banelings, and the Baneling Nest is going to fall here.
No more Banelings for Sen. He is morphing in 4 Banelings right now, somewhere probably in his main base. Once again, he's going to try to take it out with Zergling only. This actually looks quite promising for Sen.
Yeah, Sen finally going to manage to surround and repel this push, but he has taken huge amounts of damage in the process. Thorzain now ahead in workers. He's got his third command center finishing, and Sen stuck on 2 bases. Man, not a good position to be in if you're the Zerg player.
Really, really nice push by Thorzain. A quick push, an early push, and Sen basically having drones only. And also not really being, just in general, not being prepared for it. And he made even more drones by the time the push was almost there. Thorzain did not win the game, but he did so much damage to Sen that finally something in this series is starting to look really, really good for Thorzain.
Yeah, game's certainly not over, but Thorzain in a commanding position would be very, very tough for him to lose it at this point. Single Marine in the middle of the map, just trying to hold down that Xel'Naga tower, but Sen able to take it back with just 1 Zergling. Overseer will scout the completed 3rd command center. Maybe, yes. So Sen knows exactly what's up, and can't be feeling good about it.
Sen had quite a bit of money, but we've seen right now another hatchery going down on the right bottom side of the map. He's going to work on these destructible rocks as well, so we might actually see him try to take the 3rd. Spire is halfway done. I don't really think he's going to have money for Mythalisk though, even though he has a little bit of money banked up. He has a lot of gas. But in general, I guess he wants to catch up in the work account, because right now he's only at 50 drones, while Thorzain is at 72 SCVs. So what we will most likely see is Sen first producing a lot of drones, then switching into Midas.
Sen managed to bank a lot of gas during that attack from Thorzain, and when the Spire finishes, he's going to be able to make, I think, 14, 15 mutas at once, which, you know, that's a good mechanism to bring yourself back into a game. Does he have the supply room? What are you doing, Sen? Your Spire's done. And he's still saving. Okay, there we go. 11 mutas going to go down. He is supply capped on those 11 mutas, but 1 more Overlord pops out. And it's just, now it's going to be on Sen to do some damage and start pulling himself back in the game with this mutalist Harass.
Yep, and he's going to have quite a few mutas, as you said. 14 right now at once more for game. Well, Thorzain seems pretty damn well prepared, though. He has Mr. Turrets spread out all around this map. All around his main base, I want to say, not all around the map yet. Knowing Thorzain, that will probably be the case later on. Slowly but steady, Sen is doing a good job getting creep spread done again, though.
Yep, getting that creep spread moving out. So imperative.